how far can you go in Fall Guys? And what I mean by that is how far can you go before the game stops you? And no, I don't mean the creative mode border that stops you from going past it. What I mean is, how far can you make it before Fall Guys falls apart? Now obviously you can't get past the built-in border, so I'll have to resort to mods. The mods I'll be using to get my Fall Guy past the border are Unity Explorer and Creative Expansion Pack. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, the first thing we need is a floor. So let's just make this bigger and what? Yeah, so for some reason, if you make any object too big, or in this case too long, it just starts glitching out. But the hitbox stays the same, so I'll just set it to be invisible. Next, I'll add a couple of obstacles in order to test if any of the physics start breaking. Here's a demo of how everything should look. So I'm pretty sure that bug was from the floor being too long. This is what it should actually look like. I'll also put a bar at the top of the screen so you can see how far I am. Let's start off by seeing what happens when we go past the default border. Yeah, nothing happens. The physics still work the exact same, the visuals don't bug out, though one thing I did notice is that the object snapping stops working in build mode. It's very important, I know. Let's continue walking until I get to 1000 units on the x-axis. Alright, everything's the same, but the respawn zone cuts off at exactly 1000. Next, 2000. No difference. By 2200, we've officially left the skybox. 2500, no difference. 3000, nothing. 4000, nothing. 5000, still nothing. 6000, 7000, 7200, the skybox completely unloads. 7500, nothing. 8000, nothing. 9000, nothing. 10,000, nothing. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, also nothing. Besides the fact that you can't get past 50k in build mode. It's for dramatic effect, okay? Let's go up to 100,000. Right, it might not look like anything is happening, but you can see a slight jitter on both the Fall Guy and the phrases and stickers. 250,000. The jitter is far more noticeable now, especially with the shadows, though physics, emotes and whatnot still work the same. 500,000. The jitter is significantly worse now, though something I noticed is that rotating the camera to the sides makes the jitter stronger. Moving on to 1 million, the Fall Guy starts jittering and clipping through his own cosmetics. Emotes, phrases, and stickers all still work fine, but movement starts stuttering. This is happening because of the 32-bit integer limit. The game can't track any more decimals, and so movement is restricted to units of 1. Next up, 10 million. I'll just let you see for yourself. Quick heads up again, if you're sensitive to flashing images, I would go to this timestamp. Shut up. Oh my god. I don't think walking works anymore. Jumping and diving works. Turning around does like a swooping motion. Pushing the box. Ah. What? This is not working how it's supposed to. Looks like gameplay still works, just how it's supposed to, besides walking on the x-axis. Whoa. Oh. It just spun in like a circle. Wow, okay, this works just like it's supposed to. What? Yeah, so the game is basically unplayable now, but let's go up to 100 million. At this point, the game is 100% unplayable. You can sort of make out some of the textures, but you certainly don't know where you're at anymore. At 1 billion, the Fall Guy is almost completely invisible. Most of everything you see is just a background. At 10 billion, you can't do anything but move your camera up and down slightly. At 1 trillion, we start seeing some very interesting patterns, which I'll blur for the sake of your eyes. By 10 trillion, you can't make anything out anymore. It just flashes between cyan and black. And at anything past that, you just get a black screen. So now we know what happens when we go too far on the x-axis, but not the others. The z-axis is just the exact same as the x-axis, so we don't need to worry about that. But what about the y-axis? Starting at 1000 on the y-axis, the game still works perfectly fine. By 1,000,000, the Fall Guy does some weird bouncing and we can see the jittering again. And by 10,000,000, everything looks extremely chunky and low poly, as well as the Fall Guy not being able to land anymore. I found out that somewhere between 8 and 10 million, landing just breaks. And anything past 10 million, I didn't even test because I knew it would just be the exact same as the x-axis. All of that was in creative mode though. So what's different when I load up the round in a custom? These are all of the differences I found. If you use a speed dodge anywhere outside of the border, the speed only lasts for about a second. You can't push a push box outside of the border, and the respawn zone stretches past 1,000. So, what's the verdict? I don't know. The verdict is that you should smash that like button, destroy that subscribe button, and ring that bell.